Alright, and we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat mga kaguro. And of course, advance happy Valentine's Day no sa mga pusong merong mga may kasintahan, sa merong mga may Valentine bukas, no, enjoy nyo po yan, no? Deserve nyo po yung araw ng mga puso. And syempre sa mga single naman, pwede namang i-spend yung inyong time with your reviewers, no? So balikan nyo po yung ating mga videos dyan po sa ating live stream playlist sa ating YouTube channel. And of course, you can also find some of our videos on our Facebook page. We are StudyLink Gurung Pinoy International Review Center. And of course, we are your review center of choice. We are your family. And of course, we are coming back tonight for the 20 items still for general education that you have answered through your quizzes link. If you have not answered these quizzes, make sure that you click that follow button in our Facebook page so that you can be notified of all the updates that we have, especially the quizzes links that we are posting on our Facebook page, okay? If this is your first time to watch us, on YouTube, of course, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. We have so many videos that can help you pass the LET. We are a premier review center, and our advocacy, of course, is to help teachers to be like you to pass your licensure exam for teachers. Okay, so napospone po yung ating LET. It is going to be in September again, but of course, napospone lamang siya, pero tuloy na tuloy pa rin po siya. So what we have to do is to, of course, prepare for it. Okay. Always prepare properly for any battles that you are going to face in life. Okay, so prepare properly for your LET. And that means tumutok lamang kayo sa ating mga live streams, of course. And when we are not having our live streams, make sure that you go back to our YouTube channel because you have so many videos that you need to watch there. Over 200 videos, okay, that can help you pass the LET. There's a playlist for Gen Ed. There's a playlist for Prof, and of course, there's a playlist for our live streams, okay? There's almost 80 videos now for our live stream discussion. But of course, tonight, our main goal is your Gen Ed. It's still the 20 items that you have answered to your quizzes. And these 20 items were still taken from the pre-qualifying test of our growers, okay? But before that, of course, let's all start our live stream with our opening prayer. So I'm inviting all of you to please join me in our opening prayer.
Manalangin tayo mga kaguro. Our Father in heaven, omniscient and omnipotent God, salamat sa covering mo sa amin sa nakaraang oras o araw ng aming buhay. Humihingi po kami na muli mo po kaming samahan, Panginoon, sa aming pag-aaral sa oras na ito. Lord, ayon sa balita na aming napakinggan na na-reschedule na naman ang aming LET exam, marahil marami sa amin ay umasa ngunit pinanghinaan sa ngayon. Naghanda ng lubusan pero hindi talaga nangyari yung inaasahan namin. Lord, alam namin na may dahilan ka kung bakit hindi nagaganap ang isang bagay. Sigurado po na may dakila kang layunin para sa amin. Gusto naming iparating, Panginoon, na patuloy kaming nagtitiwala sa iyo. Kaya po, humihingi po kami ng lakas ng loob at kagalingan sa oras na ito. Opo, basbasan at patnubayan mo po kami lagi, Panginoon. Sa pangalan ni Jesus, ito po ang aming sama-samang dalangin. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so maraming salamat again, Pastor Efren, for always preparing our opening and closing prayers whenever we have our live stream. Now again, these materials that I'm using now, also the discussion slides, will go straight to our Gurung Pinoy teams. We have Team Gardner, Team Thunders, kaway-kaway yung mga Team Thunders dyan, okay? These are our team veterans, so yung mga veterano natin, yung mga parokyano natin, nandito po sa Team Gardner. If you have been with us since the day that we started this online review, no, yung payment nyo was 250, hanggang naging 500, naging 1,000, and so on. If you are with Team Gardner, of course, you were the part of our old grow, no? So old natin na grow, na Gurung Pinoy Review online work group. You now are called members of your Team Gardner, okay? So again, Team Gardner, this is also known as our Team Veterano, Team Parokyano, and of course, Team Thunders, okay? They call themselves the Team Thunders. And of course, we also welcome all the members of Team Erickson. Team Erickson naman yung ating mga bagito na yung mga bago natin, bagong kaka-enroll pa lamang. Team Erickson, meron pong nag-enroll no, na nandun na sa Team Erickson. Tapos sabi, isang file pa lamang po yung nandito, no? Yung kahapong file pa lamang. Don't worry po, we are going to transfer all the files and we are also going to share all the files that we have in Team Gardner, and we will be transferring them to Team Ericsson. We will be copying them also in Team Ericsson. Okay, so just don't worry, just relax, sit back, okay? Wag pong magparami ng wrinkles. And of course, we are going to learn together. We are going to prepare together for your upcoming lab. And of course, we still have our Team Piaget. Team Piaget naman is also known as Team Reserve. Okay, so once we have already saturated our Team Ericsson, we are going to already start putting in students in Team Piaget. So again, if you are still not part of any of the teams that we have here, what are you waiting for? Just become a member of our Guru Pinoy teams. It's very easy. It's very cheap to become a member of this. Your basic membership, which is Gen Ed and Prof Ed, which is for our teams. It's for Team Ericsson, also might be for Team Piaget. That's only 1,250. Okay, that's 1,250 pesos. Pro membership, that's for your major. So again, we are offering majorships like bio, English, social science, math. There's MAPE, there's Filipino. If you are under any of these majorships that I've mentioned, we have our own Google Classroom for you, and we are posting your sets there. No, so today you've already seen set 7 for the 4 first majors, and of course for MAPE and Filipino, that's already your set 5. Okay, so again, we are having this for your majorship, and that's 1,500 pesos. Now your premium membership, that's Gen Ed Prof Ed, that's for the team, and of course plus majorship, that's only 2,500. You may pay through Palawan, Cebuana ML, PayPal, Gumroad, Metrobank, or through Super Chat, Super Sticker whenever we have our live stream on YouTube. And if you think, if you don't know where to send the details, the details of where to send your payment, just send a message to us through our Facebook page. Okay? Mag-send lamang po ng message sa ating Facebook page. You can easily just choose the messages that you may send there, and you can just check all the details that you need for sending your payment. Now, kagandahan po nito is that the first 200 enrollees will still get 50%. Okay, so meron pa rin po tayong 50% for the first 200 enrollees. But then again, our slots are limited, so do not wait for the last time. No, merong iba sa inyo that are members of Team Gardner, 250 lamang yung binayad dahil ito po sila yung mga maaagap. Ito yung mga hindi nag-wait, no? Yung 250 hanggang ngayon nandiyan pa rin po sila sa Team Gardner natin, no? Ito yung mga Team Strong. Okay, so 250 lamang yung binayad nila nung una kasi nga ginrab talaga nila kaagad yung chance na yan. Ika nga, if a chance passes by, no, you cannot retake it. You cannot take it back once nawala na. So again, don't miss this chance. We only have limited slots available. So again, that's 50% off. For the first 200 enrollees, we still have slots available na meron pa rin po tayong available na slots for this. So again, if you are going to take 50% out of your 1,250, that's only going to be 625 for your Team Ericsson. So that's only 625 again. For your majorship, that's only going to be 750. And of course, for your premium, that's Team plus Major, that's only going to be 1,250. We are the cheapest in town. We are the cheapest in our country. I can vouch for that. We have always been the cheapest, even if we had our physical review center before. We have always been the cheapest because of course, our optimum goal is to help teachers to be like you, pass the let. No, it's only me and my husband who is running Guru Pinoy. We have no other partners. The only other people that we are paying, of course, are your majorship coaches. Okay, so again, we are the cheapest, and I can vouch that we are giving you the best and the most excellent service there is in the field of review for licensure examination for teachers. Okay, I can vouch for that, and I can mark my word when I tell you that. Okay, so again, these are the things that you have for your enrollment for Let September 2021. Okay, now, you can also become our supporter through our Facebook, no, sa ating Facebook page na Guru Pinoy. Hanapin niyo po yung logo na to sa ating Facebook page because there are some other Facebook pages that are also named Guru Pinoy, but they're not us. Okay, so make sure that you see our logo. And of course, there is an option there if you want to become our supporter. Okay, so you can become our supporter. And of course, you are going to reap exclusive benefits through this. Okay, we are going to be meeting our supporters through Zoom. And of course, course, we are going to be answering all their concerns, no? So directly we can answer their concerns. So again, become our supporter, especially sa mga 250 lamang yung mga binayad, no? Baka naman, pwede kayo mag-support sa ating page. Alright, so again, make sure that you become a supporter of Gurong Pinoy. This is one way to help us continue our advocacy of helping you, helping all of you reach your dreams of becoming LPT soon. Okay, but of course tonight, our goal is to discuss your 20 item for general education. Okay, so if you are ready for our discussion, make sure that you like this video on our YouTube channel. Okay, make sure that you've already liked this video on our YouTube channel. Ayan, si Ma'am Izay na Schumann. Strong. I'm strong. 250 lang binayaran ko. Okay, now... Ma'am Sunday on YouTube, paano magpa-enroll po? Please do send a message through our Facebook page right after this live stream. Okay, again, make sure that you have liked this video so we can already watch or we can already start with our live stream discussion. Ma'am Janelle Riza Domingo, how to become a supporter po. You go to our Facebook page again and on our home, sa homepage ng Facebook page natin, no, meron doon spot where you can just click and you can become a supporter. Maraming salamat po. Alright, now again, for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, make sure that you share our video, tag your friends, start a watch party. Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Good evening sa lahat ng ating mga team Valentine, no? So may mga ka-date tomorrow. At syempre, we sympathize and we empathize for those naman na sawi yung love life, no? Yung mga walang ka-date bukas, no? Okay lang po yan. Mag-date na lang kayo sa Gurong Pinoy. Balikan niyo po yung ating mga videos on our YouTube or also on our Facebook. Paano po mag-enroll, Sir John Andrew Carlos? Again, just do send a message through this Facebook page. Sir Roger Abalos, Ma'am Meg, paano malaman yung name ng team? If you can comment on Team Gardner, no? Pag nandun kayo sa Team Gardner, nakita nyo yung cover ng Team Gardner na nakapag-comment kayo doon, that means you are part of Team Gardner, okay? If hindi naman, nakita nyo yung banner or yung cover ng Team Erickson and nakapag-comment kayo doon, that means you are part of Team Erickson. Ma'am Jana Mumina Kadalay Jamel, nag-send na po ako na dito. Wala pa pong reply. Just wait po. Sir Migs is going to send you a reply. Ma'am Aiza Jeans, thank you for sharing our video. Maraming salamat po. Sabi niya, invisible po ba ako? Visible po ba? First timer, Ma'am Soraida Asdali Ansulat, maraming salamat po. Again, Sir Migs, if you're watching, no, sa aking Valentine bukas ng Sir Migs, Manaay, they said they're sending messages. So, don't worry, our mga kaguro, no, pupuntahan niya ni Sir Migs and he is going to accommodate you. Kakagising lamang po niya, no. It's just 6:40 in the morning here sa amin. Okay, now again, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you like this video. Of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, do share our video, start a watch party, tag your friends so that, of course, we can also help them just like you prepare for your LET. All right, so again, we start. This is general education, 20 items. All these materials right now are, of course, going straight to our Gurong Pinoy teams, Team Gardner and Team Erickson. We start with question number 1. Which sentence is consistent in the use of indefinite pronouns? Is it letter A, everyone is required to do your share in the development of his community? Letter B, everyone is required to do its share for the development of his community. Letter C, everyone is required to do our share in the development of their community. Or letter D, everyone is required to do his share in the development of his community. What do you think is the correct answer for question number 1? This is sentence structure. Ma'am Pamela Kalayag Acero, yes, pwede pa pong mag-enroll. Pwede pa po kayo mag-enroll kahit na hindi pa po kayo sure na makapag-take ng LET in September, no? Just make sure that you give us that note or you tell us na you are not sure yet but you'd like to enroll. Maraming salamat for those of you who have started a watch party. Sa ating mga top fan, maraming salamat po. Sir Saidil Ibrahim, Sir Saidil Ibrahim Ampat Mitimbang. Assalamualaikum po sa ating mga Muslim brothers and sisters. Thank you for the watch party, sir. Ma'am Sheila Gitalan, thank you for being a top fan. Ma'am Charlene Impas Kalinawan. Sir Adolfo Pimentel Mari, maraming salamat po sa ating mga top fan. Sir Nakayama Isuki, thank you. Ma'am Israelina, Ma'am Pamela Kalayag Acero, our top fans. For those who have shared our video, thank you so much. Ma'am Angel Indonto Ampo, Ma'am MJ Mupada, Sir Ramil Kwambot, Ma'am Dolorosa Santaan, maraming salamat po. Ma'am Mary Jane Martinez Jaime, of course. Hello po, good evening, ma'am. Ma'am Aiza Hines, Ma'am Jenaline Candelario Mondragon, thank you. Ma'am Charlene Impas Kalinawan, maraming salamat po. Okay, now what's your answer for the question that we have here? A lot of you are answering letter D. Ma'am Nancy Nalam answers letter D for this question. Dito sa ating team YouTube, ganun din. Okay, so letter D din, yung kanilang karamihang sagot. All right, now what do you think is the correct answer for the question that we have here? The correct answer, of course, should be letter D, okay? Everyone is required to do his share in the development of his community. Our indefinite pronoun here is the term everyone, okay? So yung indefinite pronoun po natin dito is everyone. Now, remember, no? You're everyone, everything, everywhere, everybody, anyone, anything, anybody, no one, nothing, nobody. These are all singular in form, okay? So singular po silang lahat. So lahat naman sila may is, no? So that means they are correct in that sense, no? So lahat sila, everyone is. So whenever you say everyone, it is always singular, no? Except, of course, pag every and may space na one, that means pa isa-isa, no? So everyone is required to do your share in the development of his community. Now, ang nagkaiba dito ay this pronoun, okay? So your, this one is its, ito naman is our, and this one uses his, okay? Now, letter D is correct in the sense that, as I've mentioned, whenever you use the term everyone, it's always singular, okay? It's always singular. And of course, you can use the term his because we are talking about a person, singular person. We can use the term his. Everyone is required to do his share in the development of his community. We cannot use letter B. It's an X because, of course, it uses its, which we only use for objects or for things. We can use R because, of course, R is used for plural, okay? So we cannot use this. And everyone is required to do your share. We also cannot use this because we are actually talking in the third person, no? So third person. Everyone is required to do his share in the development of his community. So the correct answer here, again, would be letter D. And that is the correct answer for number 1. Now we go to number 2. Each month, Jeremy adds the same number of cards to his baseball card collection. In January, he had 36, 48 in February, 60 in March. How many baseball cards will Jeremy have in April? Okay, so kada buwan daw pare-parehas ang number of cards na dinadagdag ni Jeremy, no? So kada buwan. Nung Hunyo, not Hunyo, Enero ay meron siyang 36, noong Pebrero meron siyang 48, noong Marso meron siyang 60, no, 60. So ilan naman kaya sa Abril? Okay, so what do you think is the answer? Is it letter A, 66, letter B, 72, letter C, 78, or letter D, 82? What do you think is the correct answer for question number 2? This is in the category of math. Sir Oliver F. Mohar, yes, totoo po, hindi po tuloy yung inyong let in March. But of course, we continue to have our live streams and we continue to prepare for your let, no? So it's going to be in September. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for the question that we have here? A lot of you are answering letter B on Team Facebook. Dito naman sa ating Team YouTube, may pa-powered of BBB si Ma'am Usman Radia. Or si Sir Usman Radia. Power BBB. First timer watching YouTube live from Tawi-Tawi. Hello po. Assalamualaikum, Ma'am Adsan Madisa. Good evening po. Okay, yon, letter B din, no? So, 72. Spanish, si Ma'am Tina Cabo. Okay, now of course the correct answer here would be letter B, that's 72. So again, he had 36 cards in January. In February, he had 48. So we can already get the difference here, okay? So the difference between 48 and 36, you just subtract 36 from 48 here. That is going to give you a difference of 12, okay? So that's a difference of 12. Now in March, he had 60. 60 minus 48, that's still 12, okay? So that means every month, he is actually adding 12 cards to his collection. And so, of course, in April, you simply add 12 to 60, and that is going to give you 72, okay? So, 72 po ang tamang sagot for the question that we have here. That's correct. All right, number 3, aside from the Western classics, the teacher included Asian classics in her literature class, such as blank, which is about the Japanese medieval court. Is this letter A, Bunraku? This should have been Bunraku, not Bunkaro, no? Bunraku. Letter B, Kabuki. Letter C, 1001 Nights. Or letter D, The Tale of Genji. Okay, what is the answer for this one here? Maraming salamat, Sir Arnel Busbion, our top fan. Sir Isaac Clyde J-Mix, maraming salamat. Ma'am Gemini Cubao, ma'am, how about po sa magti-take sana sa September? Mapospone din po ba? I have no idea po, ma'am. Okay, so it will be good if you can call PRC or email PRC po. Ma'am Mercy Zerudo Hiroy for sharing the video. Thank you so much. Ma'am Christ Psycho Salma, thank you for the watch party. Okay, now a lot of you are answering letter D for the question that we have here. This is literature. Okay, so again, this is number 3. President Loreto Balicaw Jr. answered letter D. How to avail yung support po, ma'am, from Ma'am Jasmine Ponciano. Again, please go to our Facebook page po later. There is a button there that you can just click to become a supporter. No? Once you open our Facebook page, nasa una po siya, kasama po siya ng mga like, follow, etc. Okay, so letter D. Okay, karamihan of course, letter D yung sagot, and that is the correct answer. Okay, so that's The Tale of Genji. That's letter D. Let's take a look at our slides. Okay, so this is The Tale of Genji, or Genji Monogatari, pronounced, is a classic work of Japanese literature written in the early 11th century by the nobleman and lady-in-waiting Murasaki Shikibu. Okay, so Murasaki Shikibu here, that is the name of the author. Okay, so that's she was a noble woman and lady-in-waiting. Okay, so again, that's The Tale of Genji. That was the correct answer for the question. Let's take a look at the other terms that we have there. Bunraku, this is Bunraku, also known as Ninyo Hururi, is a form of traditional Japanese puppet theater founded in Osaka in the beginning of the 17th century. So when you say Bunraku, this is a puppet theater, okay? Puppet show po siya. So as you can see in our picture here, okay? So that's a puppet show, Bunraku. We also have Kabuki. Kabuki is a classical Japanese dance drama. Kabuki theater is known for the stylization of its drama and often glamorous costumes were worn by performers, and for the elaborate kishi or kisho makeup worn by some of its performers. So this is the kishu or kishu or kishi makeup, no? So yun yung makeup, yung maputi yung face nila, no? That's part of Kabuki. Kabuki is also a classical Japanese dance drama. It's a theater, just like your choice a while ago, Bunraku, but this one is for the puppets. And the last one, of course, this is nothing to do with Japan. Your 1001 Nights or 1001 Nights. This is a collection of Middle Eastern folk tales compiled in Arabic during the Islamic Golden Age. Okay, so this was part of Islamic literature. Okay, that's 1001 Nights, 1001 Nights. And of course, parts of this were Aladdin, Alibaba, and Sinbad. Okay, so lahat yan, yung tatlong yan, Aladdin, Alibaba, and Sinbad, which also became famous in the Western countries, are all parts of 1001 Nights. Okay, so yung A Whole New World nyo, no, Aladdin, that was part of 1001 Nights. All right, so again, the correct answer there was The Tale of Genji. Okay, now we go to number 4. Many Japanese are more than willing to offer their lives for the sake of regaining honor. What do you call this practice? Is it letter A, zaibatsu, letter B, bushido, letter C, kamikaze, letter D, seppuku? What's the answer for this? A whole new world. Okay, Aladdin. Ma'am Hanyul. Ma'am, sa majoring po ba na social studies? Yung class is live po ba? Or through Google Classroom or Zoom? This is my first time to enroll po kasi. Thank you. Your discussion videos po are not live. They are posted in your Google Classroom. So by Saturday, we are posting your sets. And then by Sunday, you can see the answers. The answers are discussed through discussion videos. They are recorded and they are uploaded in your Google Classroom. So again, makakahabol po kayo, lahat po ng sets nandun. And of course, lahat ng discussion videos nandun. Okay, what's your answer for question number 4? Si Sir Aladdin, sabi ni Ma'am Tina Cabo dito. Sir Javier Credo, advance, happy Valentine's po, Ma'am Mek, and my classmates, stay safe and God bless. Okay. Thank you po, and likewise. Ma'am Amalia Lee, Ma'am, ano po subject pag-aaralan ang question na ito? This is already part of social science, no? Social studies na po ito. Okay, this is part of social studies. All right, now what do you think is the correct answer for the question that we have here? A lot of you on Team YouTube are answering letter D. Ganun din sa ating Team Facebook. Although sa ating Team Facebook pa iba-iba, no? May C, may B, iba-iba ang kanilang sagot. Maraming salamat again for those who are sharing our video, starting a watch party. The correct answer here, of course, would be letter D. Okay, that's seppuku. Seppuku is the correct answer here. Let's take a look at your slide. Okay, so seppuku, sometimes referred to as harakiri, abdomen or belly cutting, is a form of Japanese ritual suicide by disembowelment. Okay, so this is the form of suicide that they do by cutting their belly. Okay, so that's harakiri, also known as seppuku. Okay, seppuku po yung ating tamang sagot, no? Whenever they fail, for example, in their businesses, no? Or whenever they fail, I cannot remember the name of the general, no? The Japanese general who has failed, kahit na instead of being captured by Americans, they have performed harakiri or seppuku. Okay, so they just performed suicide. Okay, so for them, it's better to die than to lose your honor. Okay, so that's seppuku or harakiri. Now, zaibatsu naman, this has something to do with business. Okay, so when you say zaibatsu, this is a Japanese term referring to industrial and financial vertically integrated business conglomerates in the Empire of Japan, whose influence and size allowed control over significant parts of the Japanese economy from the Meiji period until the end of World War II. Okay, so again, zaibatsu is your organizational chart, your organization for businesses. That's zaibatsu. Now, the next term that you have, your bushido, this is a moral code concerning samurai attitudes, behavior, and lifestyle. It is loosely analogous to the European concept of chivalry. Okay, remember when you say chivalry, when you say bushido, that means this person, if you are a samurai, you should have all the morals of being a samurai. That means you should be a gentleman, no? So you should be upright, you should have all the virtues and the values needed to be a samurai. So dapat pala pag samurai, a gentleman, okay? So again, chivalry, being a gentleman is still valued, no, until this day and time na modern na lahat, no. Of course, na nakakakilig pa rin sa mga babae pag binubuksan yung pinto para sa iyo, di ba? Pag siniserve ka, pag inaalalayan ka, no. So you still feel respected and you still feel special as a woman if your husband or your boyfriend would do that for you. Okay, so yung mga lalaki, yung mga kaguro natin dyan ng mga lalaki, make sure that you still stay a gentleman, no? So, maging gentleman pa rin, no? Because of course, nakakahaba ng hair pag ganun yung lalaki, no? Ganun yung treatment ng asawa yung boyfriend nyo. So again, bushido is being a gentleman, having all the values, the moral attitudes of a samurai. That's for bushido. And of course, yung kamikaze mo naman, these are the suicide bombers of the Japanese, no? So kamikaze is any of the Japanese pilots who in World War II made deliberate suicidal crashes into enemy targets, usually ships. The term also denotes the aircraft used in such attacks. Okay, so these are the suicide attackers, yung mga binabangga na mismo, nagpapacrash na ng plane nila mismo para mapatay yung enemy. But of course, by doing that, they are also killed. Okay, so these are the suicide attackers of Japan, kamikaze. Okay, but again, of course, the correct answer was seppuku. Seppuku. All right, now we go to number 5. Albino corn seedlings may grow several inches tall. However, they will eventually die, primarily because, letter A, direct sunlight will destroy their cells. Letter B, they lack adequate root system. Letter C, they cannot produce their own food. Or letter D, they cannot obtain carbon dioxide. Okay, what's the answer? Ayan, Ma'am Tin, nagre-reto ka na naman dyan, ah. Gusto mo, hanap kita, Sir Aladdin, hanap tayo ng name ng Jasmine. Meron dito. Meron dito sa team YouTube kanina, nag-comment, binasa ko nga yung comment ni Ma'am Jasmine. Ma'am Jasmine, nasaan ka na? Sana all. Ayan na naman, ang sakit nun. Aasa lang. Oh, it's very rare, no? Wow, maraming salamat, Ma'am Amalia Lee. 2001. 2001 ba to? Korean won. Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Kamsahamnida. Thank you so much. Thank you for your paayuda galing Korea. All right, so what do you think is the correct answer for the question that we have here? Okay, what's the correct answer for the question that we have here? All right, now, iba-iba ang sagot ng ating mga nasa team Facebook. Ma'am Jeneline Abuel Alejandria, our supporter, maraming salamat po. Thank you so much. Our top fan, Sir Mark Luis Cerezo, thank you. Ma'am Roslyn Pogoy, maraming salamat po. Ma'am Mary Chris Mayandok Tamundong, thank you. Ma'am Ipumea Mercy, hello po, ma'am. Sir June Amisola, hello po. Good evening. Ma'am Mabel Del Mundo, Sir Emmanuel Tumaro, maraming salamat po. Ma'am Jenlyn Silva, hello po. Okay, what's your answer? Iba-iba yung answer dito ng ating team Facebook. Dito naman, sa ating team YouTube, iba-iba din, no? Okay. Karamihan dito, letter C. Letter C, karamihang answer dito sa ating team YouTube. Okay, and of course, the correct answer here would be letter C. Okay, so basahin natin ulit. Albino corn seedlings may grow several inches tall because they will eventually die primarily because, okay, Chris Aquino voice, because. Okay, correct answer would be letter C. They cannot produce their own food. Of course, we know that what makes your plants green would be the presence of chlorophyll. No? So chlorophyll yan. Yung green pigment mo, which of course is inside your chloroplast, yung chloroplast mo. And that, of course, your chlorophyll is very important in plants because it is the one that harnesses the rays, no? The sunlight coming from the sun, no? The energy coming from the sun, which is of course very important in making food. And so, since albino siya, wala siyang pigment, wala siyang chlorophyll, that means it cannot produce its own food because it cannot harness, it cannot gather the energy from the sun. Kaya letter C, because letter C ang ating sagot. Okay, so they cannot produce their own food. Okay, so these are some pictures of our albino plants, no? So yung mga anong tawag dito? Anak araw na wala silang pigments. Wala silang pigments. Okay, so that is the correct answer. Mama Maris Del Campo, thank you for your paayuda. Okay, thank you po. Philippine Peso. Mama Maris Del Campo, maraming salamat. All right, number 6, 3 liquids, A, B, and C were studied. In a laboratory, liquid A was found to float over B and C. It was also found that liquid A flows the fastest among the 3. What can be said about liquid A? Is it letter A, densest and most viscous? Letter B, densest and least viscous? Letter C, least dense and most viscous? Or letter D, least dense and least viscous? Okay, what's the answer? Mm-hmm. What do you think is the correct answer? Nasaan na si Ma'am Jasmine? Nawawala. Ma'am CG or Sir CG Aban, first timer sa Team YouTube, welcome po for watching from Tarlac. Ma'am Joy Dairit, maraming salamat sa iyong consistent na pakape. Thank you so much, Ma'am Joy. Nawala na si Ma'am Jasmine. Sumakay na. Sir Aladdin, sumakay na siya sa magic carpet. Okay, nawala. Okay, letter D. Karamihan sagot sa ating Team YouTube. Dito naman sa ating Team Facebook. Ano pong inyong sagot? Okay, letter D din. Karamihan ng ating sagot. And of course, that is the correct answer. Okay, so least dense and least viscous. Ano bang sabi ng ating question dito? Sabi, meron kang tatlong liquids, no? So liquids A, B, and C. Tapos yung liquid A mo was floating over B and C. That means siya yung pinaka least dense. Siya po yung least dense. Okay? If you try to imagine you have your corn syrup na liquid C mo, for example, you have your water as your liquid B, and of course you have oil as liquid A, no? Pag nasa taas siya ng inyong distillation na column, no, yung inyong density column, that means least dense siya, no? Mas magaan siya, least dense siya. Okay, so that means least dense siya. It was also found that liquid A flows the fastest. Okay, it also found out that it flows the fastest, and so that means it's also the least viscous. But because when you say viscous po, pag sinabi mong viscous yung isang substance, if a substance is viscous, if a liquid is viscous, that means it cannot readily flow. Okay, hindi siya readily makapag-flow. So pag very viscous yung substance, it cannot flow. Now sabi dito, yung liquid A mo flows the fastest, and so that means it's also the least viscous of them all. Okay, because viscosity is the resistance to flow. So pag least viscous siya, that means it can easily flow. Okay, so letter D, that's the correct answer for question 6. Now we go to number 7. Which of the following statements best describes a hypothetical element with an electron configuration of 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, and 3p5? Is this letter A? The hypothetical element has an atomic number of 11. The hypothetical element is a member of group 5, otherwise called the nitrogen group. The hypothetical element is in the 5th position in the P block along the 3rd period of the periodic table. Our letter D, the hypothetical element is located at the 3rd position of the P block along the 5th period of the periodic table. What's the answer? Okay, maraming salamat mo for your comments and for sharing and liking this video, for starting a watch party, of course. Thank you so much. Ayan daw yung tunay na kadate, Sir Algin. Gusto nyo makadate si Sir Algin, ha? Mayaman yan si Sir Algin. Okay, karamihan sa inyo dito, your answer is letter C. Alright, now here, sa team Facebook natin, karamihan din, letter C ang sagot. Okay? So karamihan sa inyo, letter C ang sagot, no? Now, whenever you are given your electron configuration, yung 1s mo dito, 2s, 2p, 3s, and 3p, and the number of electrons that you have, all these can actually give you a clue where you can find that certain element, no? Now, if you look at the numbers that come before your orbitals, now itong 1, 2, 3, and 3, you can see that the highest number that you have there is 3. Wala namang 4 sa kanila, no? So that means your element is found in period 3. Nasa period 3 siya, no? Nasa period 3 ang inyong element. The number here kasi would indicate the highest number of energy shell, no? Yung highest energy shell, and that is corresponding to the period. That's the period number. Now, 5 here, 5 mo, and 2, all these numbers that you have, yung 1s2, 2s2, okay, yung 2, 2p6, those numbers that I've circled, those would actually correspond to the number of electrons that you have. I-erase ko lang to, okay, this one. Okay, so those would correspond to the number of electrons that your atom would have. Okay, so that means in total, if you try to get the total number of atoms here, that's 2, or number of electrons, I mean, that's 2 plus 6, that would give us 10, plus 2 plus 5, that would give us 17. Okay, so 17 in total. Total number of electrons mo would be 17. So that means yung letter A mo, X na to. Okay, dahil sabi dito, atomic number is 11. Because if you have an atom, if you have an element which is neutral, wala siyang charge, that means the number of electrons would be equal to your atomic number, which is actually also equal to the number of protons that you have. So yung letter A would be X, dahil sabi dito 11 lamang, when in fact you have a total number of electrons which is 17. Okay? Now, the hypothetical element is a member of group 5, otherwise called the nitrogen group. This is also X. Okay, X din po ito because if you can see, your highest number of energy shell here, or highest energy shell here is, you have 3 energy shells, no? It belongs to period 3. And if you get the total of those numbers in period 3, that would be a total of 7. Okay, so that's a total of 7, which means that it should belong to group 7A. Nasa group 7A siya dapat. And so this one here says group 5. Nasa group 5 lamang siya. And so X din po yan. No? So hindi din po yan yung ating tamang sagot. Now letter C dito, the hypothetical element is in the 5th position in the P block along the 3rd period of the periodic table. Your letter D states the hypothetical element is located at the 3rd position of the P block along the 5th period of the periodic table. Now, as you can see, sabi dito ng letter C mo, along the 3rd period. Okay, so period 3. Dito naman sa iyong letter D, it says along the 5th period. Now, going back to your electron configuration here, the highest number that we have as your coefficient, tama, no? Coefficient tawag dito. That would be the number 3. So that means it should belong to the 3rd period. Okay, it should belong to the 3rd period, not on the 5th period. And so we cannot choose this as the answer. Hence, letter C ang ating tamang sagot for the question that we have here. Okay, now going to the next slide that you have. Again, if you are looking at your periodic table, I have discussed this several times. Again, these here, those that are brown-colored elements, your 7 elements here that are brown-colored, you'd call this your metalloids. Okay, so metalloids po yung tawag dito. And they have characteristics that are intermediate before your metals and your non-metals. So meron silang mala-metal na characteristic. Meron din silang mga characteristic na mala-non-metal. Now, going to the right of your metalloids, ito po, going to the right of your metalloids, ito mga elements na nandito, these are your non-metallic elements, okay? So, non-metals po yan silang lahat, no? So, kukunti lamang yung inyong non-metals, and the rest of these, okay, ito, kahit yung mga nasa baba na yan, yung last 2 rows mo, lanthanides and actinides mo, these are all your metals, okay? So, mas marami po yung metal sa ating periodic table kaysa sa ating mga non-metals. So, again, these, the one that is a staircase, no? Yung nagpo-form ng staircase in between your metals and non-metals, or your metals and non-metals are called your metalloids. And of course, to the right, meron kang non-metals, and to the left, and all of these other elements, even these 2 rows at the bottom, those are all metals. Okay, so metals po silang lahat. Now, in total, we have 18 groups in your periodic table. When you say groups, that is the arrangement of elements from top to bottom. Okay, so columns po, group po yung tawag natin dyan, group or family. Okay, so group or family. So this is group 1A, this is group 2A, this is group 3A, group 4A, and so on until group 8A. The rest of the things that you have here, ito po yung tinatawag nating transition metals. Ito po yung ating mga B groups. Okay, so B groups po sila. They're called transition metals. They're called B groups because they don't actually follow the chemical periodicity, yung mga characteristics ng periodic trends mo, they don't follow it, okay? So usually, yung kino-consider mo in counting the number of electrons, yung rules in counting the number of electrons, in counting the number of energy shells, are those elements that would belong to your A group. So again, yung A groups mo, this one, group 1A, group 2A, then you skip your transition elements there. So you have group 3A, group 4A, and so on. Now, your groups are very important because if they belong to the same group, that means they have the same number of valence electrons. The valence electrons po are those electrons that can be found in the outermost shell of your element. And these are the electrons that play in bonding. Okay? Ito yung mga electrons na kitikite. Ito yung electrons na may may highest the energy. And so these are the ones that would be bonding with different other types of elements. Okay? And so that means, say you have beryllium and magnesium here. Okay? If they belong to the same group, again, that means they have the same number of valence electrons here. They belong to group 2A, so that means they have 2 valence electrons in their outermost shell. Okay? They have 2 valence electrons in their outermost shell. Now, ang period mo naman is the arrangement of your elements from left to right. No? So row mo, that would be your period. So here you have period 1. You only have 2 elements for period 1. That's hydrogen and helium. You have period 2 with lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, etc. No? You have period 3 with sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, etc. Okay, so that's period 3. Now, if your elements belong to the same period, that means they have the same highest number of energy shells, no? So yung energy shell nila, the same din yung numbers. So that means kanina, sabi natin, it has the highest energy shell of 3. And of course, yung total number of electrons niya, yung valence niya, no? Coefficient dito, 3, no? Yung highest natin na period, no? That's the period that corresponds to their period, no? Energy shell. And of course, yung number of electrons in its valence shell, no? Valence electrons niya, that will be 2 plus 5. That would be equal to 7. So that means it should belong to group 7. And so if you are looking at group 7, period 3, this is period 1, period 2, period 3 here, that means that would be your chlorine. And so you can see that chlorine here also has a total number of electrons, which is 17. That's also corresponding to its atomic number. Kaya when we counted this kanina, when we added the number of electrons, it was also a total of 17. Okay, so bakit naman yung answer natin is, eto, no, hypothetical element is in the 5th position in the P block along the 3rd period of the periodic table. Puntahan naman natin yung ating next slide here. These kasi are your S block, yung group 1A mo, group 2A, these are called your S block. Yung group 3A until group 8A mo na noble gases mo, yung mga non-reactive na gases mo, yung inert gases mo, these are all called the P block. Okay? These are the members of the P block. No? This is the orbital that they can fill. And then of course you have the D block, and the F block here at the bottom. Your lanthanides and actinides, they fill the F block. Okay, the F orbitals, no? I'm not sure if you can still remember this in your chemistry. Yung meron kayong mnemonic na si Saddam pumasok sa pinto, si Daddy pumasok sa door. Yung 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, yung ganon, no? I'm not sure if you can still remember this. Okay, so medyo mahirap ito when we were studying chemistry, no? When you were in high school, 3rd year high school nyo. And so again, sabi ng ating choice doon, it is the 5th element, no? So 5th element siya in the P block. So 5th element siya in the P block of period 3. So this again is period 1, this is period 2, this is period 3 here. And it is the 5th element in the P block. So P block to, 5th element siya in period 3. So this is the 1st element, 2nd element, 3rd element, 4th element. Of course, that is the 5th element. Okay, so hence, letter C is the correct answer for that question that we have there. I'm sure naguluhan kayo, no? Medyo magulo. If you are not a science major, if you are not a physics major, physical science, general science major, medyo magulo siya. Okay? I sympathize, I empathize, but then again, if you are a member of our teams, these are all going to be posted there. So I hope this can help you. If you think this is too difficult, if you still have any questions, send me an email. Okay? Not an email, send me a message. Okay? And I'm very much willing to discuss all of this with you. Okay, but of course, letter C, that is the correct answer. All right, now number 8, this is math. One angle of a parallelogram is 35 degrees. What are the measures of the 3 other angles? Okay, is it letter A, B, C, or D? What is the answer? What's your answer for the question that we have here? Okay, ano kaya yung sagot natin for question number 8? Okay, karamihan letter B ang sagot. Ay, nandito pala si Ma'am Jasmine, nandito sa Team Facebook. Si Ma'am Jasmine Alba Makasait. Sir Aladdin, nandito si Ma'am Jasmine sa Team Facebook. Nalilito ako, sabi ni Ma'am Jem Kulanag. Na-refresh ako sa chemistry. Thank you po. Sabi ni Kapitan Emerson, kumusta po yung mga constituents niyo dyan? Ma'am Jasmine, lipat ka daw sa Team YouTube, ma'am. Hinahanap ka doon. Sabi ni Sir Omar Italia dito. Daldal mo, Ma'am Tin. Number 1 ka sa noisy. Oy. Yung ating pinakaunang love team. Okay, now going back to the question that we have here. This is math. One angle of a parallelogram is 35 degrees. What are the measures of the 3 other angles? Okay, correct answer here would be letter B. That's 145 degrees, 35 degrees, and 145 degrees. Now, your parallelograms would have angles totaling 360 degrees. Okay, so yung sum ng lahat ng angles mo in your parallelogram should be 360 degrees in total. But they should also have matching pairs of angles at the ends of your diagonals. That means, meron ka dapat dalawang pares, no? Magkapareho dapat yung angles mo from one side to the other and also the other side and the other side, okay? So that means if you have this, you are given the first angle there. Okay, so 35 degrees na yung unang angle mo, no? Dapat remember, yung sum should be 360 and dapat meron kang dalawang pares ng angles na equal angles sa dalawang pares. So that means yung letter A mo, hindi na to po pwede kasi nga meron siyang iba-iba, no? So that means iba-iba yung angles mo, wala kang dalawang pares ng angles dyan. Okay, and letter D, cannot be. No, now looking at your letter C here, if you try to add, no, that's 65 plus 65, so that would be 130 plus 35 plus 35, that would be 70. 130 plus 70, that would only give you 200. Tama? No? So 130 plus 70, that's only 200. So that means this is your only choice there. No? So 35 plus 35, that's 70. Then of course you have 145 plus 145 giving you 290. 290 plus 70, of course, that would give you 360. Okay, so again, letter B is the correct answer here. Okay, so 360, that is a total of the angles, the angles inside your parallelogram, and that would be equal to 2x. 2x are the two unknowns, no? And of course, we multiply this just by 2. We have 2x dahil parehas lamang yung kanilang measure. And of course, we also need to multiply 35 by 2 dahil alam natin na dapat in your parallelogram, meron kang dalawang pares ng angle. Parehas sila dapat, no? Equal sila. And so, going to our computation here, you have 360 equals 2x plus 70. 70, of course, came from 2 times 35. Now, isolating 2x here, we move 70 to the other side. So that would give us 360 minus 70 equals 2x. 360 minus 70, of course, is 290. And we isolate x, no? Iwanan natin si x. And we, of course, divide both sides by 2. So we are given 290 divided by 2 equals x. And so 290 divided by 2 is 145. So that means isang angle mo doon would be 145. The other angle, of course, would be 35 dahil dapat kapareha siya ng given angle mo dyan. And the other angle would also be 145. That means meron kang dalawang pares ng equal angles. And of course, their sum should be 360 degrees. Okay, so letter B po ang ating tamang sagot for the question that we have here. Number 9, by how much is 35% of 220 greater than 55% of 140? Is it letter A, 16 pesos, letter B, 20 pesos, letter C, 480,000, or letter D, 0? What's the answer for the question that we have here? Oh, eto. May nagre-reto dito kay Ma'am Jasmine, no? Sabi ni Ma'am DP, Elmi Aliera Roa. Wahaha, ayan na po si Jasmine. Mabait po yan at single, Ma'am Mek. Sabi, Sir Aladdin, single daw po si Ma'am Jasmine. Ma'am Josephine Bailon, hello. Kakabalik lang yata ni Ma'am Josephine. Hello po. Ma'am Jennifer Mangunlay, good evening po sa ating mga top fans. Ma'am Ruby Soliano, hello po. Habol po. Ma'am Jane Moradas, good evening po. Ma'am Eden Marinda Taplak, maraming salamat po for the watch party. Okay. Ang iba yata na basa ko na. Ma'am Angelica Ramos Guerra, maraming salamat for sharing the video. Okay, karamihan sa inyo yung sagot nyo ay letter D. Okay, dito naman sa ating she's gone talaga. Ano yung she's gone? From Ma'am Melva Edralin. Helpful and very informative. Thanks to Ma'am Mek and Gurong Pinoy. You can always repeat anytime if you want to. God bless po. Go, 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 LPTs. Maraming salamat po. Ayun, may mga binibigay dito na shortcut yung mga math major. Okay, si Sir Dan lang meron dito. Okay, so po pwede. Yan yun. Sinabi dito ni Sir Dan lang, adjacent angles are supplementary. So sabi niya, 35 plus 145 is 180. So that means supplementary angles sila, no? And that means yun yung tamang sagot. Ako kasi pag nag-solve ako old timer yung paisa-isa pa bato-bato because hindi po ako math major and of course usually do trial and error din, no? So wag po kayong matakot again magkamali. Kahit sa taong minamahal, wag po kayong matakot magkamali. Ika nga sa Frog Prince, no, kailangan nyo munang humalik ng maraming palaka bago nyo makita ang inyong prinsipe. Okay? So, kapit lamang po. Okay? Wag po kayong matakot na magkamali. Okay? Now, letter D. Letter D, yung karamihang sagot dito. Dito naman sa ating team Facebook, letter D din, yung karamihang sagot. Okay, yon. Tama yan, Sir Mark Louis Cerezo. Basta kapag parallelogram, ma'am, opposite angles are equal. All right, now we go back to the question that we have here. For us, of course, to get the correct answer here, we are going to solve 35% of 220. And 55% of 140. Okay, now remember, whenever you say of in math, this is simply multiplication. No? So multiplication lamang po ito. And of course, we are given the rate, no? Yung may percentage sign. And so we need to convert this into its decimal form. So how do you convert that into its decimal form? You simply neglect or erase this percentage sign and you move the decimal point 2 times to the left. Okay, so you move lamang po yung decimal point 2 times to the left. That means you are given 0.35 times 220. Okay, so 0.35 times 220. Okay, your answer here is already given as letter D, no? So 0.35 times 220, then you have 0.55, 55% times 140. So multiplying this, you get 77 and 77. So that means wala pong difference. And so letter D is the correct answer. Okay, so letter D, 0.00, that is the answer for number 9. Now we go to number 10. Anna and Beth do a job together in 2 hours. Working alone, Anna does the job in 5 hours. How long will it take Beth to do the job alone? Is it letter A, 3 hours, letter B, 2 hours, letter C, 3 1/3 hours, or letter D, 2 1/3 hours? What's the answer for the question that we have here? I'm praying na maka one take lang ako, inshallah. Inshallah, since graduate lang ako last year, first take ko po sana po. May Allah bless your advocacy to help these future teachers. Maraming salamat, Mamalaiha Agaw Uto. That's from Team Facebook. Inshallah, ma'am, no? Makuha nyo ang inyong pangarap, one take lamang, no? So, huwag kalimutang mag-prepare, huwag kalimutang mag-review, and of course, tutok po kayo sa inyong review. Okay, we know that we are having a lot of things to think about in the Philippines right now, no? Especially ang hirap ng buhay. But of course, when you have your license, when you are already LPTs, then that is one way for you to better your lives. Okay, so syempre, pag meron ng license, pag meron ng LPT, po pwede nang mag-apply ng work, no? At eventually, po pwede nang mag-asawa. Okay? Sir Dennis Flores Brade, hello po. Welcome back. Thank you for sharing our video. Aba, Sir Aladdin, saka susugal sa pag-ibig, naging pusong bato. Ang mga hugot. Okay, now going back to the question that we have here, this is a problem of working together. You know? So you have Anna and Beth. They can do the job together in 2 hours, just 2 hours. Working alone, Anna does the job in 5 hours. How long will it take Beth to do the job alone? Okay, now the correct answer here, of course, would be letter C. So letter C pong tamang sagot dito. This is 3 1/3 hours. Now we go to the computation that we have here. This is your formula. 1A plus 1B equals 1T. No? So 1A here, A here is the number of hours it takes the first person, okay? And B here is the number of hours it takes the second person. And T, of course, is the total or the number of hours it takes both of them to do the job together, okay? So substituting all the things that we are given, you have 1/5, dahil sabi dito, Ana does the job in 5 hours, okay? So substitute nyo yung 5 sa ating A, which is the number of hours for the first person. And of course, they can do the job together in 2 hours. So we have 1/2. We substituted 2 for letter T here, no? Which is the number of hours they can do the job together. And of course, we are looking for B, the number of hours that it will take Beth to do the job alone. Okay, now looking at your equation here, we are going to move 1/5 to the other side so that we can isolate your term here with a variable. Okay, so doing that, of course, we are given 1/B equals 1/2 minus 1/5. Okay, so we have changed the sign of 1/5 here into a negative sign, giving us minus 1/5. Now, of course, we cannot easily subtract 1/2 and 1/5 because they are dissimilar fractions. They don't have the same denominator. And so what we do is we get their GCF, their greatest common factor, no, so that we can not the factor, but their LCM, their least common denominator, so that we can easily subtract them. Okay, now looking at your 2 and 5, for 2 you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. For 5 you have 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. And so we know that 10 should be their LCM, or least common multiple or least common denominator, or LCD. Okay, so what we do is we have 1B and we change their denominator to 10. Then, of course, we divide 10 by 2. The first denominator that we have here, 10 divided by 2 is 5. You multiply that by your numerator of 1, that would give you 5. Okay, that's why we have 5 here. So again, that's 10 divided by 2, which is 5, multiplied by 1, giving us 5. Then you have 10 divided by 5, giving you 2, multiplied by 1, giving you the answer of 2 here. So now we are left with 1B equals 5 minus 2 over 10. Now we can proceed with our subtraction since we already have similar fractions. Okay, they already have the same denominator. Now 5 minus 2, of course, that would just give us 3. Okay, so 1B equals 3 over 10, or 3/10. And so now we can proceed with our cross multiplication. So we are left with 3B, or 10, 1 times 10, that's 10, equals 3B. So for us to get the value of B, we need to isolate it. That means we need to divide both sides by 3, giving us 10 divided by 3 equals B. And B, of course, is equal to 3 1/3. Okay, that's why your answer is 3 1/3. Ma'am Jean Mary Bohos, Austria, our supporter. Maraming salamat po. Okay, now number 11. If I blank a senator, I would live in Ayala Village. Is this letter A? Should be. Letter B, am. Letter C, were. Or letter D, was. Hello po, Quotients. Quotients, anong quotients, ma'am? Watching from Cagayan de Oro, pa-member na kayo for Top Notcher. Marami kayong matututunan kay Coach Mac. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Jean Mary Bohos, Austria, our supporter. Thank you po. Sabi ni Ma'am DP Elmi Aliera Roa dito kay Ma'am Jasmine. Ma'am Jasmine, punta ka sa YouTube. Nandun si Sir Aladdin. Sabi ni Ma'am Jasmine dito, sabi ni Ma'am Jasmine Alba Makasait, sino yon? Nahuyo ka? Sir Aladdin, huyo? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for the question that we have here? Letter C ang inyong sagot. Okay, dito naman sa ating Team YouTube, letter C din ang sagot. And of course, that is the correct answer here. Now, if you have if clauses, yung mga, these are your wish clauses. These are your sentences na wishing, no? If I. Now, even if you have a singular pronoun there, no? Kahit na singular itong iyong pronoun, singular itong iyong subject, you'd always use the term were. Okay? So, were pa rin yung ginagamit mo. You never use was. You don't use am. You don't use should be. Okay? So, if I were a senator, were kasi ito yung ginagamit natin whenever we have a wish clause, your if clauses. Okay? So, letter C, were, that is the correct answer. Now, number 12, which of the following is heterogeneous? Is it letter A, kerosene, letter B, clean air, letter C, rainwater, or letter D, seawater? What's the answer for number 12? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 12, mga kaibigan? Kapuso, kapatid, kapamilya, kaguro? Okay, we're already at number 12. You're answering letter D. Okay, yung ating Team YouTube is answering letter D. Dito sa ating Team Facebook, you're also answering letter D. And of course, that is the best choice here, no? Your seawater is heterogeneous. Now, remember the difference between your homogeneous mixture and your heterogeneous mixture. I've talked about this yesterday, no? So when you say homogeneous, you cannot see the different parts of your mixture. But when you say heterogeneous, you can still see the different parts. Yung kerosene mo kasi, clean air, rainwater, you cannot really see the distinct components of this, the distinct parts of this. And seawater mo, it is still non-free, no? Hindi pa kasi siya, hindi pa siya super clean. It still has some sediments, no? So meron kang mga plastic dyan minsan, meron kang mga lumot-lumot, no? Meron kang whatever na nakalutang sa inyong seawater. And so letter D, seawater po yung ating best bet in this question. So that is the correct answer, letter D. Now we go to 13. In which of the following medium would sound waves travel the fastest? Is it letter A, gases, letter B, solids, letter C, liquids, or letter D, vibrating liquids? Is it, what do you think is the correct answer for this question here? We are already at number 13. Puro basura, sabi ni Ma'am Tin dito. Puro basura yung makikita sa seawater. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 13? Okay, Sir Alvin Medallada says solids. Okay, solids. Karamihan sa inyo, letter B yung sagot, solids. Dito naman sa ating team Facebook, karamihan din ay letter B. Okay, so letter B, ang karamihang sagot, and of course, that is the correct answer. Okay, whenever you are talking about your sound wave, dapat kasi may particle yung sound waves mo na daanan para matransmit siya, no? And of course, the best medium would be your solids. Okay, so this is our slide here. Sound waves travel by particles vibrating. And so, sound waves will travel fastest through your solids, the least in your gases, okay? Now, iba naman siya, no? This is the opposite if you are talking about your light, no? Pag light naman, they travel fastest in your open space, of course, and of course, they travel the least in solids, okay? So again, pag light, if you are talking about light, it is going to be the opposite, okay? So then again, the correct answer is letter B, solids here for number 13. Now we go to number 14. Jane placed some mothballs inside her cabinet. After a week, they were all gone. What happened to the mothballs? Letter A, they condensed. Letter B, they melted. Letter C, they were dissolved by water in air. Or letter D, they sublimed. What do you think is the answer for number 14? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 14? Ma'am Jenlyn Abuel Alejandria, our supporter, says letter B. Okay, others? Many of you are answering so hati, no? Yung ating team Facebook, may letter B, may letter D. My boy at my dog. Dito sa ating team YouTube, Karamihan letter D ang sagot. Okay, I've already talked about this. And of course, the correct answer here would be letter D. They sublimed. Okay, nag-sublime po sila. Hindi po sila nag-melt. Hindi po sila nag-condense. Hindi po sila na-dissolve by water in air. Okay, so naptalina para mabango at di ipisin ang cabinet. Okay, so they sublime. Now, going back to the different phases of matter that you have here, again, your ice is a solid. Okay, of course, you have your solid, your liquid, and your vapor is gas. Okay, so solid to liquid again, that would be melting. Liquid to gas, that would be evaporation. Now, condensation is from gas to liquid. Okay, so gas to liquid, that's condensation. That is how rain is formed. Liquid to solid, that would be freezing. Okay, that's the opposite of your melting. Now, sublimation is from solid to gas without going through the liquid state. Okay, kaya yan yung ating sagot. What happened was actually your naphthalene balls, which were solid, actually sublimed and formed into gases through sublimation. Okay, so sublimation po yung nangyari. Deposition, of course, is the opposite. Deposition here is from gas to solid without going through the liquid state. Okay, now, of course, those arrows that are pointing towards the right, heat energy is taken from the environment. That means these processes are endothermic. Okay, tandaan niyo po yung term na yan, endothermic. Now, yung processes naman that are pointing towards the left, no, yung arrows nyo that are pointing towards the left, these are your exothermic processes. That means here, heat energy is released into the environment. So, exothermic processes sila. Okay, so exo, that means going outwards. Thermic, of course, is from thermos, which means heat. Ang endo mo, of course, heat is taken in. Okay, so again, here, those arrows that are pointing towards the right, those are endothermic processes. Those processes or arrows that are pointing towards the left, those are exothermic processes. Kaya mainit bago umulan, okay? Because the process through which rain is formed is condensation, and it is an exothermic process. Okay, so again, the answer there would be letter D. Letter D, they sublimed. All right, now we go to number 15. If July 12, 2003 fell on a Tuesday, on what day will July 12, 2009 fall? Is it letter A, Wednesday, letter B, Sunday, letter C, Friday, or letter D, Thursday? What's the answer for 15? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 15 here? My heart is sublime. Ba, may hugot king dito sa team Facebook. Sir Kobe, my heart sublimed. Okay, tama po yan. Solid to gas, that's sublimation. Okay, now what about this question that we have here? Number 15, what do you think is the correct answer? Ang July 12 mo, 2003 was a Tuesday. On what day will July 12, 2009 fall? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Karamihan sa inyo, letter A yung sagot sa Team YouTube, Wednesday. Dito sa ating Team Facebook, karamihan din ay letter A. Merong ibang letter D ang sagot. Okay? Now, of course, here, the correct answer will be letter A, Wednesday. Okay? Tingnan natin bakit Wednesday ang ating sagot. Alright, so 2003, it was on a Tuesday. Now remember, every year, ay dumadagdag lang naman, nagdadagdag ka lang ng isang araw. And so that means 2004, probably, no, dapat nasa Wednesday siya. 2005, Thursday siya. 2006, Friday siya, no? And of course, 2007, dapat Saturday siya. 2008, Sunday siya dapat. And 2009, Monday siya dapat. Monday siya dapat. Kaya lang, the difference is that you have 2 leap years here. 2004 is a leap year and 2008 is another leap year. Okay, now remember, if you have a leap year, you add 1 day to your February na month, no? So this is already July 12. So that means dumaan siya sa Pebrero, no? Dumaan siya sa February. And so that means magdadagdag ka talaga ng 2 days. Okay, so magdadagdag ka ng 2 days, and that would mean that na instead of Monday, that should be on a Wednesday. Okay, so mali ito, dapat hindi siya Wednesday, dapat Thursday na ito, no? I've just done this to show na ito sana kung wala lamang leap year, no? But of course, since we have 2 leap years here, that should be Wednesday and not Monday. Okay, so Wednesday po ang tamang sagot dito, not Monday. Now, how will you know that a year is a leap year? All leap years are divisible by 4. So, divisible po sila ng 4. So, 2004 mo, it can be divided by 4. So, that means it's a leap year. 2008 mo, divisible by 4. And so, this is a leap year. 2012, 2016, 2020. So, the next leap year that we are going to have is 2024. Okay? So, again, pag divisible by 4, that would be a leap year. Okay, so letter A po ang tamang sagot dito. Now we go to 16. This is still math. A water tank contains 86 liters when it is 20% full. How many liters does it contain when it is 75% full? Is it letter A, 331.5, letter B, 150, letter C, 322.5, or letter D, 320? What's the answer? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for this question that you have here? Okay, so may leap year po. Tama po yan. What do you think is the correct answer for question 16? Number 16 na po tayo. Karamihan sa inyo. Sagot ay letter D. Dito naman sa ating team YouTube, their answer is letter C. Paano malalaman kung may 30 or 31 days yung month? Ako po ginagamit ko lang yung buko. Yung dito, no? So January, February, in between the notes, the buko siya, so wala siyang 31st day. So March, meron siyang 31st day. April, wala. Okay? Then May, meron. June, wala. Then July, meron. And then August ulit, meron. Now remember, Augustus Caesar and Julius Caesar were actually having a competition, kaya parehong merong 31st yung kanilang months. Kaya nagkaroon ng leap year, no? Binawasan yung February. So August meron din, June, July, August, September wala, October meron, November wala, December meron. Okay, so ako ito lang yung ginagamit ko. Meron pa yatang, yun, may song daw. Sabi ni Sir Aladdin, may song daw. A Whole New World ba ito, sir? Okay, now going back to the question that you have here, the correct answer is letter C, 322.5. Okay, so 322.5. This is just a matter of ratio and proportion lang naman to, no? You can just write 86 is to 20, kahit na ilaglag mo na yung percent mo, no? And X is to 75. Okay, so X is to 75. Now remember the extremes, the products of the extremes should be equal to the products of the means. Okay, so that means we multiply 86 by 75. That would give us our 86 times 75 here. Then of course we divide that by 20 to get the value of X. Okay, so para makuha mo yung value of X mo dito, multiply your extremes, 86 and 75, then divide the product by 20. Now, 86 times 75 is 6,450. Divide by 20, that would give you 322.5, which is letter C. Okay, so letter C po ang tamang sagot. May poem yan. Sabi ni Ma'am Janelle Riza Domingo, no? I cannot remember the poem. Okay, now number 17. In a certain school, the ratio of boys to girls is 3 is to 7. If there are 150 boys, how many girls are there? What's the answer for 17? Ligwak. Sabi ni Sir Isaac dito, ligwak. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. Hindi ko na maalala yung poem, Ma'am Tin. Okay, what's the answer here? A lot of you are answering letter D, 350. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All three rest have 31 days, except February alone, which only has 28 days. Clear? And 29 days each leap year. Abang, galing ni Ma'am Janelle Riza Domingo, English teacher yata si Ma'am, or ECE. Early childhood po ba kayo, Ma'am? Sabi ni Sir Mark Toledo dito sa YouTube, sa mga singles, suba na lang kamo bangos buwas. Mag-ihaw na lang daw kayo ng bangos bukas. Bakit? Bakit Sir Mark Toledo? Okay, now what do you think is the correct answer for the question that we have here? Karamihan sa inyo, letter D ang sagot. Letter D ang sagot ng karamihan sa inyo dito. Okay, dito din sa ating Team YouTube, letter D. And of course, that is the correct answer. Okay, so this is still your ratio and proportion. So again, 3:7. 3:7 equals 150 boys, no? Kasi sabi dito, 3 boys is to 7 girls. And so, 150 boys is to X number of girls. So again, we multiply the extremes and we also multiply the means, and they should have the same number, okay? That should be equal. So again, we are given 3x, that's 3 times x, giving us 3x, then 7 times 150, giving us this equation that we have here. So 3x equals 1,050. Getting the value of x here, we have 1,050 divided by 3. And so the correct answer is 350. Okay, so 350 po ang tamang sagot. Okay, so 350 letter D, that is the correct answer. Now we go to number 18. Okay, number 18 po. Between January 2008 and August 2008, the price of gasoline rose from 28.40 to 52.90 per liter. What is the percent increase over the 8-month period? Okay, what's your answer for the question that we have here? Ayun, sabi ni Ma'am Janelle, English teacher but not English major. Criminologist pa daw po. Criminologist si Ma'am Janelle. Sir Aladdin Kalot, sabi ni Sir Aladdin, no, sa mga single daw bukas, yung hapunan nyo, ginisang ampalaya. Okay, ginisang ampalaya ha. All right, now a lot of you are answering letter B sa ating team Facebook. Sa ating team YouTube din, your answer is letter B. Okay, and of course, that is the correct answer that we have here. Okay, so unang-unang gagawin natin, kunin natin yung difference between the change, no? So 52.90 minus 28.4, the difference is 24.5. Now, we are going to get that percentage, no? So what percent, blank percent of 28.4, which was the original price, is 24.5. Okay, so again, we are given just 28.4x because we simply multiply this, no? I-multiply mo lang po yan, yung x mo and 28.4. So you are given 28.4x equals is equal in your math sentence. So this is equals 24.5. To get the value of x, you simply divide both sides by 28.4. So you are given x equals 0.8627. And of course, you can simply move the decimal point 2 times to the right and put your your percentage sign to get the value of 86.27%. Okay, so again, letter B, 86.27% is the correct answer. Okay, kaya tama po yung letter B natin dito. Now we go to number 19. What is the greatest common factor of the numbers 48, 12, and 32? Is it letter A, 6, letter B, 2, letter C, 3, or letter D, 4? Okay, ang daming ampalaya dito sa Team YouTube. Bitter, pag kumain kayo ng ampalaya, sabi ni Sir Igano Roel. Aba, umuhugot to si Ma'am Tin. Masakit yung gulay na ampalaya. Mahirap kasi ampalayain ka. Ampalayain ka. Sabi ni Ma'am Buena Fe, bitter, lagyan ng asin para mawala ang pagka-bitter ng ampalaya. Oh, sabi ni Teach Jo Mardonde din, sa mga bitter dyan, 1 week ulam lang ampalaya. Etong si Math, laging naghahanap ng X. Sabi ni Cap Emerson. Aba, Sir Mark, nireto pang sarili. Oh. Sa mga single, pwede ako bukas ka-date. Online nga lang. Ayan, si Ma'am ikaw na po, Renalyn. Magsimba na lang at magdasal tayo bukas para sa ating paghahanda sa exam. Aba, Sir Alvin Medalyada, iba din yung hugot ah. Kahit gaano kapait ang nararanasan ko, ikaw pa rin ang sustansya ng buhay ko. Ba, may pa ganun? Anong hugot lines nyo? Team Facebook. Wala kayong hugot? Yung Team Facebook yata, happily in love to lahat. Walang bitter dito. Maraming salamat, Sir Paul Abiertas. Thanks, Madam, sa free review yata to. Maraming salamat po, Sir Paul. Okay, number 19. What is the greatest common factor of the numbers 48, 12, and 32? Now, again, you are given the term greatest, no? So, again, unahin niyo muna yung pinakamalaking number sa inyong choices. So, what you do is you simply divide the numbers that you have here in your given by the choices that you have. So, again, uunahin natin yung malaki kasi nga, inahanap natin yung greatest, no? Hinahanap natin yung pinakamalaki. Okay, so 48 divided by 6 can be, di ba? So 8 times 6 is 48, so pwede siya. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Okay, so pwede din siya. Pero 32 divided by 6 cannot be. Okay, so meron siya remainder. And so we know that letter A cannot be the correct answer. Now we go to the next greatest, no, which is 4. 48 divided by 4 can be, that would be 12. Then you have 12 divided by 4 can be, that is equal to 3. And 32 divided by 4, that can be, that would be equal to 8. So that means letter D is the answer for the question that you have here. Okay, ayon, meron nang humugot dito. Ang palayaman ako sa inyong paningin, ako'y hilig mo din. Aba? Alright, last question. Joseph is 10 years older than his sister. If Joseph was 25 years of age in 1983, in what year could he have been born? Is it letter A, 1963, letter B, 1948, letter C, 1953, or letter D, 1958? What's the answer? Wow, Ma'am Mary Jean Martinez Jaime, happily married po. So happily married pala tong mga taga-team Facebook. Happy yung kanilang love life, kaya pala hindi sila masyadong humuhugot. Ang ating Team YouTube, ang daming hugot, no? Okay, we are down to the last question that we have. Again, kung kakatune inyo pa lamang po, balikan nyo na lamang po yung ating video. You can also watch us on YouTube. We have so many videos that can help you pass the let on YouTube. There's almost 80 videos for our live stream where we are discussing these items for Gen Ed and Prof Ed. So balikan nyo po yung lahat. And of course, make sure that you follow us on Facebook. You are subscribed to our YouTube channel. And of course, if you can become a supporter, go ahead and become a supporter of Guru Pinoy. If you believe that your advocacy should also be helping LPTs, okay? LPTs soon, no? Those who are dreaming of becoming licensed professional teachers, then please support our advocacy by becoming a supporter of Guru Pinoy. I'm happily single, sabi ni Sir Don Kim. Sana all happy tanan. Hindi naman pala lahat happy dito. Hindi lang sila humuhugot, no? Hindi lang sila bitter. Nakapag-move on na sila. Ma'am Lynn and Sen, yes, happily married here too. Okay, now number 20 here, Joseph is 10 years older than his sister. If Joseph was 25 years of age in 1983, in what year could he have been born? You actually don't need your first sentence here, no? Akala ng first sentence, magugoyo niya kayo. Actually, you don't need the first sentence here. Hindi siya importante sa iyong paghahanap ng tamang sagot, no? If Joseph was 25 years of age in 1983, in what year could he have been born? So it's very easy. You simply deduct or subtract 25 from 1983, okay? So the correct answer here would be 1958. So you just subtract 25 from 1983, giving you the answer of 1958, and that would be letter D. Okay? Thank you so much po. Proud single. Sakit lang yan sa ulo, Ma'am Mek. Wow. From Ma'am Aideen Magno Cabrera Camahort. Bawal magjowa ang hindi pa LPT, sabi ni Ma'am Ray Onibas. Maraming salamat po. All right, so that ends tonight's discussion of our live stream. And of course, these will all go straight to our Gurong Pinoy teams, to Team Gardner, and also, of course, to Team Erickson. So if you are still not a member of these teams, make sure that you become a member of these teams and support us on Facebook, okay? It's very easy. Just send us a message to our Facebook page. And of course, we'll see each other again on Saturday, okay? Saturday night at 7:30 p.m., still Saturday. By 7 a.m. again on Saturday, your quizzes link is going to be posted, no? So make sure na naka-follow po kayo sa ating page, and if you can become a supporter, then you support our advocacy of helping you become LPT soon, okay? So become a supporter for Gurong Pinoy. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Joy Dairiet, okay, for yung Valentine's Day gift yata to ni Ma'am Joy. Thank you po. All right, thank you so much. And of course, we end everything with a prayer tonight. Please join us in our closing prayer.
Muli po tayong manalangin, mga kaguro. Panginoon naming Diyos, salamat po sa inyong pag-iingat sa amin na natapos po ang aming pag-aaral sa oras po na ito. Sa amin pong pansamantalang paghihiwalay, sana po ay pagkaloob mo sa amin ang mabuti naming kalusugan, ang kagalingan, ang talino po na nanggagaling po sa inyo. Bigyan mo din po kami ng pasensya, Panginoon, na maghintay. Alam mo namin, O Lord, na merong mga kadahilanan bakit na-cancel ang exam mo namin, Panginoon. Tulungan mo po kami na mas lalong makapaghanda para po sa isang pagsusulit po, Panginoon. Pagpalain mo po ang family ni Ma'am Mek, ni Sir Ram. Pagpalain mo po ang Gurong Pinoy. Pagpalain mo po ang bawat nandito, member po sa review center po na ito, Panginoon. Huwag mo po kaming pababayaan, Panginoon. At sana po ay pagpalain mo po kami lalo upang sa ganon, maabot namin ang mga pangarap namin, Panginoon, mga mitihin mo namin. Salamat po sa lahat at sana po ay dala namin ang kapayapaan, ang pag-ibig sa aming mga puso, Panginoon. Sa pangalan ni Jesus, ito po ang aming sama-samang dalangin. Amen.
Amen. Amen at amen. So sa muli, maraming salamat, Brother Efren Esteban, for always preparing our closing prayers and our opening prayers, of course, whenever we have our live stream. Bago ko makalimutan, yung ating palang magic tambiolo, no? Meron pa palang pampaswerte sa mga sawi sa pag-ibig, sa mga bitter ngayon. Meron pa pala tayong magic tambiolo. So abangan nyo po yan right after this live stream. I am going live through our Facebook, no? Sa Facebook page po natin, I am going live for our Magic Tambiolo, of course. Okay, so we are going back with our Magic Tambiolo after this. We will be doing that live on Facebook. So abangan nyo po yan. All right, so we are going to see each other again on our next live stream. That's going to be on next Saturday. Don't give up hope. Don't lose faith. No, continue working for your dream of becoming LPT. Sa muli, ito po si Coach Mek, inyong Gurong Pinoy, and I leave you with the saying, malit man na butil ng mga kaalaman, ang dulo nito ay malaking kaginawaan. Maraming salamat po and good night, mga kaguro! Happy Valentine's Day! Bye! Ingat